Hi, I'm Lorella, not a farm girl on a homestead adventure.
I'm Garrett.
And today, we're building rabbit cages. 5 years ago, I moved my family from the rat race of Los Angeles to rural Missouri so that we could lead a more organic lifestyle with closer ties to our food and our land. And on our journey to becoming more self-sufficient in the area of meat, we are going to be getting meat rabbits.
This is baby saver wire. It'll be on the sides to where the babies can't get out of it. This will be on the top for the doors, and then this will be for the bottom.
So the cage bottom wire and the baby saver part have about the same size holes, right?
You got hog rings, and then I think we have hog ring clamps.
All right, and this is what's going to hold the cage together, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we have one more set of tools here, wire cutters. This is our floor cage wire. It is 30 inches tall, but this will be the depth of the cage will be 30 inches. That way we're not going to have to cut the bottom wire at all. A large rabbit whose mature weight is around 11 pounds, a nursing mom needs about 7.5 square feet of floor space in her cage. I'm not sure exactly how big New Zealand moms get, but they're going to be a larger breed, right?
Yeah, they're going to be a bigger breed.
They're going to be a bigger breed. So we figured out that if we do a 3-foot section times your 2.5 depth, that's 7.5 square foot of cage space. And if we do 2 of those for the does, and then we do a 2-foot section for the buck, then that equals a total of 8 feet of cage space, which will be perfect for me because when I go to make the table that they're going to go on, it'll be an 8-foot piece of lumber.
Yeah.
The first thing Garrett and I did was to cut all the long sections of cage wire. And so we had an 8-foot section for the floor, and an 8-foot section for the front, and an 8-foot section for the back. And you can see him using the tool to clip the sharp edges off after he cuts through the metal. That was a lot of work. I didn't realize how much time we would be spending actually cutting cage wire and then clipping all those little sharp points off. And it's not as easy as it looks either. Well, I guess I don't make it look that easy, but Garrett kind of does.
Oh, this is not easy.
Here you can see him where he has folded over the cage corner so that our front will have a slant on it.
There we go. Now we're doing it, Garrett. High five me.
Oh, you have to do that. Okay. So this is the side of it?
Yes.
That'll be the front, actually.
Well, this is the side
yes.
of it.
So it's going to run this way, and there'll be dividers.
So
These
then
are the
your
dividers.
front's going to be like right here.
Yeah, so then you put the door up, and you can reach in and reach farther back because it's angled.
So you need 1,
5.
2, 4.
5.
3 of them. 3 cages.
4.
5. 1 at each end.
2 in the middle.
4.
4.
Well, good, 'cause we screwed one
mangled
up.
that one. So
good, we screwed one up. Worked out fine.
Once we had the dividers made, then we could start piecing the cage together with J-clips and hog rings.
Okay, Garrett, thank you for putting in a hard day's work with me. I think you probably did much of the harder work. We've got a 3-hole cage started. Well, thank you. You can come back and help me next time?
Yep.
I'm getting bunnies. I'm getting rabbits. I'm getting bunnies. Yeah.
And trying to make sure that I get both pieces of wire inside the clamp before it closes, because sometimes I miss and only one of them gets in there and then it doesn't work. And the next thing we're gonna have to do is bend the front half down to meet the front of the cage. Right now I'm working on cutting out the doors. The doors are gonna be a little bit longer and wider than the hole is, so that when they come down, babies basically can't split the crack, like they can't jump through the edge.
So this is gonna be a 12 by 14 hole for the buck. And he ain't gonna need as big as a hole than the does, because with the does you're gonna have babies and you're gonna be pulling in and boxes and stuff out. In the buck you want it just big enough where you can get does in and pull them out. For the does we're going 22 by 12. For the whenever you're going in, you want a bigger one for the babies, and for the mom you can pull out the mom, and the babies won't try to get in. So you should be able to cover the length, and getting into the corners you shouldn't scratch up your arms as much.
So if I have to come in and hunt for baby rabbits in the corner, it's gonna be a tight, I can barely reach it.
The next thing we had to do was attach the doors and latches. I like these latches because they're easy to use and they stay secure. After that, we cut holes for the feeders and put them on the cages. Now the cages are all set, we're almost ready for bunnies.
Thanks to Garrett, I've got a new 3-hole rabbit cage. We did it in 2 afternoons, probably about 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours, somewhere in there total of work. And I'm very thankful because I don't know that I could have done this on my own. 5 years ago, I moved my family from the city to the country. We're learning how to grow our own food, raise animals for food, and I also do DIY projects around the farm, and we're building our own house. Be sure and hit the subscribe button so you'll know every time a new video comes out. We've got the cattle panels up and in place, and now we're putting pool noodles on the end so any pokey parts of the cattle panel won't tear through the tarp as the wind hits it. We tried cutting the pool noodle with one person holding and cutting, and it kind of noodled around and the cut ended up like this. We found it's easier if 2 people hold it, it goes a lot more straight. That's as far as I'm getting today. Pretty pleased with the way it turned out. And hopefully it'll last longer than the greenhouse did. I'm back out in the rabbitry. I hope you can hear me over the sound of the wind. We have rain and storms today, which is why I was in such a hurry to get this up with Leslie the other day. I knew this would be my last day to really have an extended amount of time to work on this before we bring the rabbits home. Exciting stuff. But I don't want this to turn into a huge tarp kite that goes flying across the pasture, especially not when we're trying to house animals under here. And I want to make it safe for both rabbits and chicks. So what am I going to do? How am I going to keep this in place, and how am I going to keep our animals secure? Chris had these made at our local hardware store I'm going to basically pound them into the ground, and they should hold in the dog kennel that we've converted into this rabbitry. I also have chicken wire, clippers, a 3-pound mallet, zip ties, and these fabric pins that are going to be used to hold the chicken wire to the ground. I'll show you what I mean. Let's get working. I also have these cool gloves that were given to me by my friend Liz. Thank you. Last one. My arms are getting kind of jelly. I have one in each corner and one in the middle of each side. And done. I'm exhausted. Give me just a second. Then we'll work on chicken wire. The wire on the side of the dog kennel, the holes are like this big. Chicks and bunnies would squeeze right through that. In addition to that, there are places all around the kennel, like that hole. That's, you know, a full-grown adult rabbit's gonna get through that. My next task is chicken wire all the way around securely, including some of it on the ground. In the corner, I snip the wire and then I overlay it to make the corners go tight. I have chicken wire against the bottom part of the fence and on the ground to prevent going through the fence and to prevent digging under the fence. With the gate closed, there's about a 2.5, 3-inch gap left here. So what we did, Chris pounded in this T-post for me. We brought the chicken wire across from the side that doesn't move to the T-post. We also added extra chicken wire on the gate. When the gate is closed, there's chicken wire on both sides of the gap so that nobody can be a little escape artist between those two posts. For now, I have the rabbit cages on cinder blocks. I plan on building a wooden stand for it as soon as I have the funds and the wood and the time. That will be pretty soon on my list of priorities. We are done. We are done enough to get rabbits. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment. Tell me what you think about this. What can I do to improve it? And we will see you next time the rooster crows.